Hi guys!
Welcome, I'm Shahnaz.
And I'm Francois, and welcome to our tiny house and to our beautiful land in Portugal.
This is Mojito, and we like to call this Chateau Crabouze. Willkommen nach unserem tiny house.
Exactly what she said.
This is almost all of it. This is our kitchen here, where you can see we have a gas burner that Francois and sometimes I cook wonderful things on. We have a certain amount of storage. We have a fridge, which is currently not on because we use the bathroom as storage. And here you can see it's really messy, but there's an chaos. It's organized chaos. So this is the bathroom. It is set up with a sink. And on the left there is a shower.
And even a toilet.
The toilet is under all the clothes on the right. So right now we're keeping, that's our fridge, and we're also keeping some animal food in there.
And soon there's gonna be hot water, so it's gonna become a real bathroom. But one of the best part is probably this guy, because it keeps us warm at all times, and it's definitely very important to have this in rural Portugal because it can get cold actually. So
we met in New York, and we used to live in New York in the Upper East Side in a 2-bedroom apartment. So for New York it was a decent sized apartment. We had a little garden also, which was amazing. But yeah, it wasn't huge either. And then we traveled for a year. So when we traveled, we were basically backpacking and working, and we volunteered a lot actually on farms. And so we went from having a decent-sized apartment in a beautiful, fun, big city to traveling and not having a home for a year. And so in that sense, the tiny house is an upgrade, right? Because we finally have our own space, we finally have our own kitchen again. And the journey, a lot of people think, but how did you go from New York to rural Portugal? You know, you must be bored, it must be strange. But with the animals, there's never a dull moment. Our to-do list is very long, a lot to do. And we have internet, so we feel connected still. So this is the living room, dining room, bedroom area. The bed is actually in the wall. It's, I guess, a Murphy bed.
And then when we take it down, we basically lift the table, take the bed down, and everything comes down and rests here on the bench. And on that foot on the ground, and it's like a big decent bed, and it's very comfortable. It was the easiest way for us to be living on the land right away, because we have these houses that are beautiful, but we need time to rebuild them, and also actually we need time to get the land, to buy it, to prep everything. We could come and live here straight away in a very comfortable place where we had almost everything we needed, as we saw, a bit of adaptation, but it was just the fastest and the easiest way, the most comfortable, I think. And it's I don't think we are the minimalist kind. As you can see, we have a bit of everything everywhere,
but we like challenges, yeah. Also. And yeah, I've been seeing tiny houses on Instagram and social media for a long time, and it's a very cool concept. So we didn't really plan to end up in one, but it's kind of neat that it worked out. And I think if we can, we'll probably keep it as part of the tourism project, because I think a lot of people are curious, but maybe don't want to live in one, but spending a weekend or a week in one could be a fun thing. Ready? Oh, she's over there.
Mathilde! Murdoch!
So this house here is the first of 2 big houses that we have, stone houses. It will be renovated as well. It's one of the first ones, and the downstairs will be a big kitchen, and the upstairs will be a loft type space, so that we can do anything from like a painting workshop, a yoga class, a birthday party, sort of just like a event type space. So that's the idea here. And then the second house that we'll see in a minute will become where we live eventually. But that's the last one that we'll renovate. The vision is, so there are 3 stone houses, 2 big ones, 1 smaller one, that are already there. So we will renovate those. One of them will be a space for events and a big kitchen, and the other one will be where we live eventually. And then the third small house will be to rent out. And then in addition to that, we'll hopefully build 3 other small houses that can be rented out as independent units. So each one hopefully with 2 bedrooms, its own little bathroom and kitchen. And then we'll have a natural swimming pool. So the idea is to have a small ecotourism project that people can come to for just vacation with family or friends. But then also to have events and workshops and courses that can drive people here. Everything from, yoga to cooking to aquarelle course, or and it won't be all us. We'll work with friends and people that are actually experts and bring them here for that.
And then we have animals, and we're trying to start farming. We're coming from. I used to garden a bit, but not that much. And Shahnaz is also new to this. But the idea is that over time to try to produce as much as we can of what we consume. Of course, it will never be everything, but just a few fruits here, a few veggies there, and over time increase the milk, the animal products like the eggs and
maybe
so
cheese.
Maybe cheese, yeah.
That'd be cool. So this is the second house?
Yeah, this is what's gonna become our house that we will rebuild, of course, and amplify. And this is the heart of our property and what will become our farm. And it's only the beginnings, because in the state it is, we're just gonna keep the walls basically. And this will be our home someday, we hope.
So what you see on the left is these big wooden boxes. They used to keep grain in one of them, and the other one was for meat that they used to salt. That was the equivalent of their fridge. And then the animals were down here with the troughs and where they could live. And upstairs it was one big space with then wooden partitions. The family that lived here, it was 8 kids and the parents. And we sort of found maybe 3 bedrooms with beds, and then they had an open kitchen where they had an open fire. So when you look in the corner, it looks like part of the building burnt, but it didn't. It's just that everything was black from having an open fire, and that was not that long ago, right? They left 15 years ago, so it's really just a very, very different lifestyle.
I still am a watchmaker. I fix mechanical watches, and I used to be in charge of a customer service for a big Swiss brand in New York for the US market. I was supervising the customer service for 5 years, and it was not the life I liked. Anyways, what I like is micromechanics and fixing watches. But at some point they asked me if I wanted to go to New York, and of course I said yes. But it was nice that the working contract ended, and we decided not to renew it and to just go back to Europe and do something different.
When we were living in New York, I was working in public health. I was doing a lot of communications and event and project management. So what's nice is that I can still do some of those things online. So I do a little bit of consulting work, which makes the financial pressure a bit less for us to get our project off the ground.
I cannot fix watches online. Tu l'attaches sur la sortie?
Ouais.
Allez. Allez.
One, because their manure is really good fertilizer. 2, because she's really, really cute. And 3, over time, we like to be able to do donkey rides around the property. So the property is actually 22 hectares, which is huge. It kind of goes down valley, up the valley, into the forest, around. And so we thought it would be a nice way to be able to have kids, and maybe even adults if she grows big enough, be able to discover the place in a different way. And she's a typical Portuguese breed. So she's a Mirandese, and they're not extinct, but they're not so common anymore. And so we also love the idea of being able to support and to continue that tradition a little bit. I speak French and Spanish, and that has helped a lot. And Francois speaks a little bit of Spanish. And
I think French in our case we are very lucky because it's very close to Portuguese, and it was the same. We couldn't hear anything at the beginning, and then step by step you hear the words, and then you recognize them. And actually, once in a while, I will take a French word and put an O and an A, and it actually works.
So the oven outside is. It's a funny story. We don't have an oven inside because it's a tiny house, but Francois loves baking quiche and cakes and bread and all sorts of things. And so we mentioned to a friend, we said, at some point we'd love to have an oven. And she said, my neighbor has one. It's outside. She's not using it. So she called her neighbor, and so we bought a gas oven for 50 euros. And then we brought it back and we were like, we have nowhere to put the oven. So we put it outside, and it works, and it's connected. And so it's now an addition to the tiny house kitchen. And we use it to make lasagna and quiche and chocolate cakes and stuff.
The travel taught us how to live with less and differently. So for a year we just had one luggage and a few pieces of clothing, and it was fine. And we learned to have a dry toilet or have a shower that's a bit more cold, or not every day. It was part of the process, and also to learn if we liked that life, if we like it together all the time, because we spend a lot of time together, and we still do here. It's not like we both go for 8-10 hours a day out to work, and then we see each other in the morning, at night. No, we're always together, so it has to work, because otherwise it can be, it's a tiny house.
So this is our mostly protected compost toilet. In here we have sawdust with a little cup, so you can sprinkle it on when you're finished.
But in winter, or at night, it's so cold to go outside.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's, we dress as warmly as possible, and then it's.
But I don't know. Every time we build something new, it's like. It's like luxurious. It can be, someday we'll have a toilet, it would be like, it's going to be something big. We used to take everything for granted, and now we're rediscovering, it's what is comfortable and what isn't. And of course, this is a bit cold, but
the view is amazing.
The view is amazing, and this is what we have for the moment. And over time, we'll make it better, and maybe we'll regret the view. It is a bit cold. At this time of the year, it is a bit cold, and maybe after the donkey shelter, I'll make some kind of cabin around here too.
Francois designed and built a really cool outside shower, which is passive actually. So it has basically there's a black pipe that's curled up and is in the sun, and so during the day it heats up, and then you have this wonderful hot shower. We actually had to add a cold water line because it's so hot that you have to mix it. And so for summer that's perfect because it's hot and it's pleasant outside. Now in winter it's a little bit harder. So the tiny house comes with a bathroom, a fully fitted bathroom, but it has a really big electric boiler, which doesn't make sense to run on the solar system that we have. So Francois, handyman that he is, will replace it with a gas boiler.
Yeah, when we designed the photovoltaic system, at some point you need to stop. We could have a massive system too, but where we put it and the price. So we thought 3 days of no sun is usually what you go for, but 6 days of no sun is also a bit in between. So we have the fridge that is the biggest consumer, and because it's winter, do we really need it? So that's why we're using the bathroom a bit like a storage place, but we also have outside a small cooler box in the hall. That's what we were using at the beginning. So it is more adapting. I think that with the amount of light that we have now, we could work with the fridge, but then if it doesn't, we don't know. So we just prefer to be safe and keep the electricity for the light, for the electronics, and for a few other bits and pieces here and there. So
if I think about the difference between now living in this space and living in a house, I actually see as many advantages as disadvantages, in the sense that now if you have to sweep the floor because it's dirty, it takes like a minute and a half.
Mm-hmm.
In a house, I don't like doing housework. Like, it's going to be a lot more to maintain. So it's really a matter of balance, and there's not. I don't think there's so many downsides to being.
I mean, this morning, because we were not here last night, we didn't make a fire, and this morning I stepped out. It was almost the same temperature between both. But then we made a fire, and like half an hour, to an hour later, then it was like perfectly nice. If we had another house, it would take 2 days. You come back from vacation, you need 2 days to warm up the house. Here we can be comfortable within an hour. That's awesome. We cook every day, of course. There's no dishwasher. We wouldn't want one. But then between the cleaning and the cooking, more space in the kitchen would be nice, I think. And then more accessories to make even better food.
Of course. I wouldn't mind having a couch or something. But I like taking naps, when our life allows it. So it's a nice perk. It's okay. I take a nap on the bench. It's not really a problem. I can sleep pretty much anywhere. But it's.
That's now in the summer we have a nice hammock outside.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah.
So it's again, our life is built a lot outside. So there's not really anything so much.
The shower, but that's up to us to fix it, So that's
and it's a really nice shower. Actually, we've already used it in summer once or twice when the pipe heated up. But no, I think it's in terms of. We're in the middle of nowhere, but we have a village a 5-minute drive away, and we have a pretty decent-sized town a 20-minute drive away. So actually, both within the tiny house and within our life, we basically have everything we need. Coming from New York, every once in a while, we wish it was possible to just sort of pick up the phone and order Thai food, but it doesn't happen so often. And we've actually learned to cook sort of Thai. I mean, Thai people would probably have a fit if we called that Thai food, but